Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this mid-afternoon or so for this album review, and sorry about the background noise. My nephew's been throwing a fit lately. So I'm returning to you for Lacey Sturm's new album, Kenotic Metanoia, I believe is how you pronounce the album's name. Kenotic Metanoia, I believe, if I'm pronouncing it right, for her sophomore album. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for all 15 songs for this 57.5-minute album, and let you know my thoughts on Lacey Sturm's new album, Kenotic Metanoia. So let's dive into this album review. Now it starts with the intro track, My Heartbeat, and that's a pretty interesting track to start the album. It has some weird background noise and a lot of other things happening in the track, but atmospheric wise, I think it did pretty well for what it went for. I mean, it's a weird track to start off the record, but I think it worked for what it was going for, so 5 out of 5. State of Me is actually a pretty good track. I really like this track. Lacey Sturm's vocals sound pretty amazing, and just overall, there were some moments where I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but I think overall it still did pretty good, so 5 out of 5. Are You Listening is a good track in its own way. There were some moments where I wasn't feeling for Lacey Sturm's vocals from time to time, but I think overall, with the mixing and production, it did pretty well, so this is a 4.5 out of 5. Not a terrible song, just not my personal favorite. The Decree actually had some screams from Lacey Sturm, and I was really impressed with this. And yes, she's the former singer of Flyleaf. I think she's back with Flyleaf now, I'm not sure, but you can let me know in the comment section below, because it says she is, and then other sources say no, she's not, she's just doing solo stuff, which honestly, she can do both if she wants, but it's up to her. So basically, The Decree was a great track. I like Lacey Sturm's scream vocals in this track, and mostly the overall sound to the song did pretty well, so this was a pretty good song. 5 out of 5. Terrible Mistake was one of my favorite songs. I really enjoyed this 5-minute and almost 45-second track. It was 5 minutes and 44 seconds, but it did pretty well. And this track definitely rocks for sure, and there were some good highlights during the track. That Lacey Sturm's vocals were amazing in this song, and she nailed it with this track. 5 out of 5. Wonderful actually had some weird vocal tones from Lacey Sturm, but I think overall the track did pretty amazing. So this is another 5 out of 5 for Wonderful. There were some weird vocal pitches when she was singing it, but overall I think execution wise it did pretty well with the overall sound. A Man Needs a Maid is another least favorite of mine. I don't hate this song, I just think it's weird. I don't think the track was all that impressive. I think it was a good song, but there were some moments where the track kind of felt a little weak with how she was singing the track from time to time, so this is a 4.5 out of 5. Thief is a pretty strong track. I really enjoyed this song. Lacey Sturm's vocals were amazing. The overall melody structure did pretty outstanding, and just it followed along with what the song was gonna go for. So I think she did a pretty good job with this track. 5 out of 5. Not Your Fight is a pretty good song. Most of these songs do sound like classic Flyleaf. I haven't heard Flyleaf's whole discography, just so you know, but I do want to check out their albums for sure, because I heard their albums are pretty amazing from what I've heard, but I don't know. I gotta listen to them, see what I think of them. So this is a 5 out of 5 for Not Your Fight. Awaken Love was a weird one, but I think it worked for what it was going for. Lacey Sturm's vocals were pretty outstanding, and just overall, I mean, her vocals do crack a bit during it, but I think that's what she's wanting to do with her vocal pitch, and I think her vocals are pretty outstanding. Even with the cracked vocals, it does have its moments where it's good and where it's alright. So This is a 5 out of 5 for Awaken Love. Reconcile was a weird song, but I think overall it worked execution-wise. It started off pretty weird with the melody and the slow start, but I think the rest of the track did perform pretty well, so 5 out of 5. I Died, parentheses I Died, is a pretty good song. I really enjoyed this track for what it went for. I think Lacey Sturm's vocals were pretty outstanding in this song, and just the execution wise of the track was pretty good. Guitar work and drum work throughout this album is pretty amazing, so this is a 5 out of 5. Breathe With Me featuring Lindsey Sterling, um, like a instrumental violinist, is in this track, and this song was amazing and very beautiful with how it sounds. Melody-wise, it carried a tune. So I really enjoyed this track. It was almost 5 minutes, but it was pretty well executed. So 5 out of 5. End the Wars is the last song before you get to the outro track, which is another My Heartbeat. Outro My Heartbeat is the last song. End the Wars was a pretty good song. It was really good with how it sounded. Lacey Sturm's vocals were outstanding, and overall, this track worked, so 5 out of 5. And finally, the outro track, My Heartbeat, was a weird closer, but I think it worked to end the album. So 5 out of 5 for this one. I know it's not, the intro and outro tracks are not the longest songs in my opinion, and sorry, my sister's cat woke up just a moment ago. Yes, you did. Titan. Silly kitty. But yeah, basically, outro My Heartbeat was a good track, 5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think Lacey Sturm's new album, Kenotic, Metanoia, was actually a really good album. I was really impressed with this album. I did not think I would actually like this album. I thought it was going to be a pretty good record, but there were some tracks that were pretty strong, so this is a really good album. So for a score for me, I'm giving Lacey Sturm's new album, Kenotic, Metanoia, her new album, for her sophomore album, I think I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Pretty strong album, definitely rocks for sure in some areas, and overall it executed pretty well. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for Lacey Sturm's new album, Kenotic Metanoia. Thank you for watching this album review today.